Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Mariya. Please subscribe below so we can be YouTube friends. This is my June energy update. June is fascinating. I would call it the month of the convergence. Convergence as in there are a lot of energies fighting for our attention. And so it is not a very even kilted month. It's a month with a lot of happening. I would call it the month of turbulence in some way. It has a lot of good streaks. It has some in-between streaks. It has some worrisome tendencies. It has a little bit of everything. On the positive side, June is going to be great for material things. It's going to be a good month to manifest things. It's going to be a good month to wish upon a star. It's going to be a great month to really be in action, especially the first half of June. Really good for being in action, going after what you want, but also being in aligned action, action that is aligned with who you are, actions that are aligned with what you came here to be. It is also the energy of the feminine is actually really strong in June, and it's the energy of the Empress. If I were to put the archetype on it, it's the energy of the Empress. What does it mean? The Empress is this understanding, or it's a vibration of things coming to you, right? If you think about the Empress archetype, even in tarot, she doesn't go out there to conquer things. The entire world is already hers. So that archetype is very, very strong within your life. So you're being called to embody it, embrace it, live it, right? Own it. Where are you being called to be an empress? That is irrespective of your gender. Even if you're male, doesn't really matter. Whatever you identify is, find your inner empress. So that emerald energy is still very strong at the beginning of June. However, that's not the only thing that's going to be happening. The middle of the month feels like turbulent, raging waters. But they're not waters of It's almost like a river, but it's the river filled with Mercury is how they're showing it to me, with rubies stuck in it. Very interesting picture to be witnessing. I have not seen something like that before. So what does that mean? Mercury is higher vibrational water. So there are planets in our universe where Mercury, the compound, right, the chemical compound, is the equivalent to, the beings that inhabit the universe. So essentially, Mercury is high vibrational water. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of planets where Mercury is a substitute for water. When we are seeing Mercury in a lower vibrational density, it is usually a calling for an upgrade. So we are going to be upgraded. Our light bodies are going to be upgraded in the month of June. We are being called to step up to the bigger and better versions of ourselves. So spiritual is actually a very, very interesting month. It's a month of an upgrade. It's also the month of the coming together, almost like there is, for a lot of you, it's going to be a month of a spiritual birth or rebirth. You're stepping onto a new cycle in your own spiritual evolution. That is usually how Mercury, or what Mercury communicates. So you're going to be nurtured by spirit. You're going to be nurtured by your guides. You're going to be nurtured by the universe to step into a new blueprint for yourself, a new offshoot of your journey, a big upgrade. And then these rubies floating in water, part of it is like a treasure hunt. And so you're going to be invited, or rather the universe is going to take you on a journey in the month of June. And that journey is going to be your own personal treasure hunt or quest. And the way it's going to transpire is through insights, through aha moments. June in some ways is a month of clarity, where you've kind of been swimming in the waters of your own life. And then you come upon an insight, or you come upon a rude awakening, or you come upon a piece of news, or you come upon something that has been concealed prior to, June. All of a sudden it's revealed. So it's the month of the big reveal. So some of you may get news that, could be a little bit turbulent, may shake you up. The good news is you get a lot of clarity through swimming in this mercurial waters of June. So very fascinating. But again, it's a treasure hunt. Now, whether you'd like this or not, it's going to be a treasure hunt, right? Some of you are going to be in resistance to that energy and kind of like, hey, I don't really want to see. Don't show me the truth. And the more you resist that truth-telling aspect of June, the harder it's going to be for you to swim in this mercurial waters. Mercury, outside of upgrades, is also an element of cleanse, right? It's a very divine feminine element. And some old parts of you are ready to die out. So this is also a month of death and rebirth. So a lot of death and rebirth cycles. On average, a human being goes through one death and rebirth cycle in a month. The month of June is going to have 3 death and rebirth cycles on average for humanity. That is a lot of shedding of the old skin and stepping into the new constantly, right? It's almost like you're going to be reborn in the month of June about once a week, give or take, once every 10 days. That is a lot of death and rebirth. I don't see you being able to resist that change, though. So upgrades are coming to you whether you'd like this or not, and upgrades are usually really good. They may come with a fair amount of shedding, letting go. Certain people may fall away from your life. Certain things that you thought you wanted are going to fall away. Job offers may be rescinded. Promotions may be rescinded. So it's a little bit, some of you are going to feel like universe all of a sudden is taking things back from you or taking things away from you. Please know if that happens for you in the month of June, it's a shedding. It means it's not meant to be. It's falling away to make room for something so much more meaningful, so much more aligned for who you are at soul level. So that's the middle of June. Towards the end of June, there was a little bit of that, like we see the sun and we see ice. Sun, there's the summer solstice, obviously, so that's, positive. And then we see a lot of ice, and it almost feels like the sun is shining upon some of the parts of your being that have been iced out, and all of a sudden there's like springtime, there's this greenery that comes from the ice. So be prepared that certain parts of you are going to be cracked open. Right, so the sun, again, is going through its own cycle of rebirth. The summer solstice is an extremely potent time for the sun and the solar energies. So we're going to be hit with upgrade codes starting from about June 15th up until June 25th is going to be that time where solar activity is going to be really heightened, and we're going to receive all of these codes and all of these upgrades. And sun is coming for the parts of you that have been atrophied, the parts of you that have been hurt and wounded, and that has created a blockage. So the sun essentially is coming to deblock you, to remove the things that have been constraining your movement and invite you on a journey of flow. So that is the job of the sun. And so any kind of solar practices in the month of June are fantastic. Sun gazing, really good. Solar breathing, also really, really good. There are many forms of solar breathing. Essentially, what you would want to do is, like one of the forms of solar breathing that I would like to introduce today is literally you would stare at the sun. Ideally, it's unobstructed sun. You could also imagine sun in your third eye, right? With your eyes closed or open, doesn't really matter. So essentially what you want to do is you want to get present to the solar energy around you. And then as you're looking at the sun, fixate on its very center and its very core. And imagine that core has golden liquid prana in it. And then as you're breathing in, imagine breathing in that liquid prana from the very center of the sun and taking it from top to bottom of like your entire body. So essentially, breathe in as deeply as that golden prana is going to go. And imagine that going down your body to the very first chakra, and then down to kind of like to the soles of your feet, and then rise back up again. And then you exhale. So essentially, it's the solar loop, right? The down and then up. And then you exhale. You ideally exhale audibly through the mouth, right? And so essentially, take a deep breath in and out, right? And it's about 10 to 15 repetitions of this type of breath. But again, every time get centered. With every new breath, you get centered on the very core, the liquid core of the sun that looks like golden pranic energy. And then imagine breathing that in and then breathing out what no longer belongs. But again, it's an energy exchange with the sun. So that could be a very beautiful, potent practice for you in the month of June. June is not really for resisting. It is a very fast-moving, fast-paced month where you're just meant to go with the flow, surrender to it, surrender all semblance of control, because truly you're not really controlling much in the month of June. You are going to be on a ride, on a journey, That would be impossible to resist. A lot of shifts, a lot of changes. Embrace the change in the month of June. It is meant to be crazy. It is meant to be fast. Things are meant to collapse right in front of your eyes and then come together very quickly and reassemble themselves back. That is all really normal for the month of June. Now, I like to do the blessings and the curses of the month, and I feel like I've already mentioned a lot of them, but June is really good because it's a really good spiritual upgrade month. It's really good for you to start coming into your special abilities and special powers. So send that request out into the universe if you want to develop a clairaudience, clairvoyance, any of the clairs, if you want to hear your guides clearly, etc., if you want to, get more messages from the universe, you may send that out to the universe, and you may send that request out to the sun as you observe it in the sky. And because we're being incredibly heard in the month of June, your abilities may start to come online and may start to open up in June. So that's really beautiful. A lot of rites of passages in the month of June. That could be a blessing, that could be a curse, depending on how you look at it. What is a rite of passage? A rite of passage is usually a test of some sort, a trial, a tribulation, like it's the universe coming to test you, or it presents you with a challenge. And that challenge is always in alignment with where you're going. It's always in relationship to what you have been asking for. And the universe just wants to do its due diligence, and it wants to make sure that you indeed want what you said you want. And so it may come in, you may be required to do something. You may have a calling to do something, or the universe may just present you with a challenge where you're meant to go somewhere, but your train got delayed or your plane got canceled and, you're not able to get to where you wanted to go. And you're like, okay, well, I need a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a lot of rites of passage in the month of June. The good news is if you pass your trials, if you pass your tests and tribulations, the rebirth on the other side of it, it's truly magnetic. There's a lot of golden codes of, rebirth and very phoenix-like energies, especially towards, the middle of the month, between 15th and 21st, 22nd of the month. That is where a lot of rebirth is going to happen. And it's really, truly going to feel like an upgrade. The before and after could be quite dramatic. So be ready, though, on the negative side, be ready to face your shadow, because that is how you upgrade. Be ready that certain discomfort is going to be quite palpable. Certain uncomfortable feelings, certain uncomfortable thoughts are going to rear their ugly heads. They're going to become very obvious to you in the month of June. It's like you could not bypass if you tried, couldn't gaslight yourself if you tried. Certain things are going to become a lot, very prevalent, but also very obvious, and kind of like they would start staring you straight in the face. It is because you were meant to heal them. If something like that is showing up in your life, it is because you're ready to erase that pattern. You're ready to graduate from that pattern. You're ready to be reborn and have the old things fall away. And again, from the challenges of the month, it is very fast-paced. It's going to be emotional for a lot of you. Clarity that June brings could be painful. You could find out that, oh gosh, a lot of things as I'm scanning the collective, certain uncomfortable truths revealed in relationships and in your marriages, things that you perhaps, were suspecting but didn't quite know. So there's a little bit of that coming through the pike. But no, if it shows up for you in the month of June, it is because it is a rite of passage, it's a trial, and you're meant to reemerge on the other side. So have faith. Believe it or not, there is a lot of planning from the higher spheres that went into this June. There are a lot of beings of light that have spent a heck of a lot of time planning what codes to send to humanity, in what order, in what sequence for the month of June specifically, because it is meant to be the month of upgrade, and a lot of upgrades. And it is a month of convergence, meaning you have a lot of masculine and a lot of feminine energies all in the same go fighting for your attention. So please, you're not going crazy. If June becomes overwhelming, it is not you, it's the energies, solar energies. Oh my God. The sun is going to be at one of its all-time high points of activity. So that's, also another challenge for June. But overall, it's a beautiful month. It's a month where you can really get upgrades in your wealth, abundance, money. It is a month where you can get upgrades spiritually, and it's a month of the rite of passages that don't really happen all that often. So you're really, really being invited to step into the new you and really start playing the bigger game. Beautiful month. Please let me know in the comments if you're already starting to feel the energies of June, or if if you already started noticing some of the happening. I'm super curious to find out. I'm sending you a big virtual hug, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, loves!